And we're live. Welcome everybody to At Lafayette Live here on the Lafayette Reel for Monday, April 21st, 2025. I hope that your week is off to a great start and everybody is having a great Monday. Hope you had a wonderful and blessed Easter weekend, hopefully with family and friends and those that are important to you. Lots of things going on in the last week since we were last together, so we will have lots to talk about. But while we get everybody in, don't forget to drop in the chat. Where are you watching from? Are you here in the Lafayette area? Here in Lafayette or West Lafayette, Tippecanoe County, White Carroll County, Benton County, Indianapolis area maybe. Got a couple friends that watch from down in the Evansville area, down in the southwest corner of the state. And we have some regular watchers from out of state. Dallas routinely pops up on our watch list. We get some occasional people dropping into the chat from Florida and California. Some of y'all not ex-Purdue, but Purdue alumni, Purdue students who have moved on with your lives elsewhere, or perhaps we occasionally get the parent who is looking to send their student to Purdue University, looking to get a little lowdown on life here in the Greater Lafayette area, whether you're thinking about housing for your student outside of the dorm experience at Purdue, which comes along with its own pluses and minuses, of course, or you're just reminiscing about old days. We're sure glad that all of you are here, and thanks for joining us on At Lafayette Live. I don't normally touch much on, big international news stories, but it did come across this morning that Pope Francis, the Pope of the Catholic Church, passed away this morning. So that was a sad bit of news because he was a good man who cared about the poor and the marginalized and those that need help. So our prayers are with him here on At Lafayette Live. All right, well, we're all getting loaded into the chat. We'll get going in just a second here. It's supposed to be really nice out tomorrow. As I look out the window to my left here, it's a bit gloomy. It's been overcast today. Not quite shorts weather, but tomorrow it's supposed to be sunny and in the 70s. So heading on our way towards summer. We'll get our half a second, an eye blink of spring, and then we'll be on into the roasting hot, high humidity of summer. That's weather here in Lafayette. So, all right, we're ready to get going? Before we get going, if you're here, maybe you've already done this, but the stats show that a great many of you haven't. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure that you don't miss anything here on the Lafayette Reel, at Lafayette Live, and all the content that we put out. There were 2 videos that went out today, a tour of a beautiful home and some information about GE Aerospace here in Lafayette. So we put out content all the time, as well as our weekly show here every Monday at 7 o'clock. This is kind of the story that just won't die. The end is nowhere near in sight. It's a very, very big deal. And of course, I'm referring to the SK Hynix project here in West Lafayette. This is a South Korean semi-chip manufacturer who's going to build an advanced packaging plant here in West Lafayette, which is not packaging up in cardboard boxes and sending them out in the mail, but rather it's taking individual chips and putting them together into sub-assemblies to make a more powerful chip. A lot of this is aimed at the AI market. They're NVIDIA's single biggest chip supplier. So this is a very big deal. It's a $4 billion development that's backed by the CHIPS Act. And there's been a lot of controversy in the last couple of weeks, few months now, about the location of this site. And long story short, they wanted to move from site A to site B. They're only about 2,500 feet apart from each other, but once they moved to site B, all the neighbors across the street, across Salisbury, basically from site B, were like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. And as it turns out, a couple of other people here in the community were kind of wondering when everybody was going to wake up and notice or say something about it, because even the 2,500 feet to the right, to the east, to the right on the map, is really kind of like not that big a deal when you listen to some of the fear some of the warnings that were given in public comments at an area plan commission meeting last month, and we're talking about exclusion radiuses of like 5 and 10 miles. So like it seems like a few feet doesn't really make that much of a difference. And so the conversation has been in the last couple of weeks about, well, is this an all or nothing situation? Will SK Hynix still come here if West Lafayette does not agree to rezone Site B, which is currently zoned residential, to I3, heavy industry? The trick here, as I was saying, is Site A is already zoned heavy industry. They just had a slight preference as far basically as geometry goes for Site B, a little more rectangular apparently. But it has come out, and if you're not subscribed to Dave Bangert, you really should. So Dave is a local journalist, and as we all know, journalism in America has been undergoing a sea change over the last couple of decades. And Dave is a local treasure and is out on his own now. And you can subscribe to him. Go to basedinlafayette.com. And if you want to stay up on what's going on in Lafayette in depth on a day-by-day, minute-by-minute basis, you can't do better than subscribing to his Substack and paying for it. It's well worth it. But Dave had an interview with Mark Lundstrom, Purdue's chief semiconductor officer, who's going to answer who answered a lot of questions. I mean, this interview, and it's a print interview, goes on for pages and pages and pages, and it is well worth your read. And I'm not going to read it here because, first off, Dave deserves your subscription and your money for his hard work. But I will give a very brief synopsis of the situation and give my thoughts and comments on it, and encourage you to go to basedinlafayette.com and subscribe to Dave and read for yourself. But basically, Mark Lundstrom says, this is good. This is good for the community, and we think that this is going to happen no matter what, Site A versus Site B. There's a lot of work gone into this, that it's good for the community, that it's high tech. But the interesting part was a lot of his colleagues spoke at the Area Plan Commission meeting in opposition. I was there. They spoke in opposition to this plan and how the site was bad. Mark Lundstrom, in this article, in this interview, basically says he's not quite sure that that's what his colleagues meant, that he won't speak for them, but that they now, I won't say regret, but what is on the record, what people think they said and what they said are two different things, and I don't think that's the case. I was there, and they were opposed to this location at all, period, full stop. Again, that's my interpretation. I'm a realtor, not a journalist, so, take that for what it's worth. I bring this up to say that there is more to come on this, and if you care at all, and if you live in this region, you should care for a lot of reasons. This is big development for the area. This is going to drive our local economy in the near term, in the midterm, and quite frankly, if they get to town, for the long term. This is high-tech industry that's going to bring jobs, it's going to bring development, it's going to bring jobs to this factory, the supporting factories, and good news brings more good news. Development brings more development, I should say. So there will be more coming behind this. So you should care. If you don't want this across the street from your house, you should care. Whatever side of this debate that you're on, you should care. And the people are the people are making sure that their voices were heard. There was a protest last weekend at the corner of Calbearer and Salisbury Road with residents outside on the intersection on the corners there protesting this location. And not just protesting Site A, but also protesting not protesting Site B, but protesting Site A. Let's take a look at this. Here's the map of it. When I'm talking about Site A versus Site B, here's Site A, the purple. Everybody see that? This is zoned I-3 already. There are residential neighborhoods, established residential neighborhoods here. And of course, there are established residential neighborhoods over here and down here. And the West Lafayette Recreation Center is down here. Where the controversy started is Hynix and Purdue Research Foundation wanted to move from Site A to Site B, this area right here bounded by the black, the proposed site. I got this out in Google Maps and measured from the middle of this plot to the middle of this plot, about 2,500 feet, not even half a mile. And suddenly, all of these neighbors here were like, whoa, 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 whoa. But if you live here, you know, what's the difference between here and here? And for these guys, what's the difference between here and here? I would debate that there's not. If you're on Facebook at all, dropping local names, if you're not following Sean Lutz, you definitely should. He is the owner of a group about historic Lafayette and is doing a great, great job documenting the history, the actual physical history, the homes and buildings of our area that are still around us. And he's got a great following. I believe he's up above 10,000 followers on Facebook now. And he made a great statement this week, and it's not a direct quote, but basically it's along the lines of, is this happening one way or another? And this site that is already zoned I-3, is it better to have this known quantity as opposed to some other heavy industry that could come in later if this high-tech deal falls apart? I try my best to kind of walk tightrope here and not editorialize and give my opinion. I want to give you guys information, and for certain, I have feelings and thoughts about everything that I bring to you here, and I don't want to sugarcoat and everything is, rosy and great. I see both sides of this argument, and I scratch my head and wonder why this isn't down in like the Airport Discovery Park district as opposed to this residential area. And I've heard the arguments, the points of fact about sewage and these sites already being here, and these sites have always been part of the Purdue Research Park, but they're also part of our community. I don't know. I don't have the answers. Nobody has really answered that to my satisfaction yet about why that's not moving. But there was a protest last week. They're going to continue protesting. So what is next on this topic? Well, if you're interested, and you should be, if you live here in the area, whether you live next door to one of these sites, whether you live in West Lafayette, whether you live in Lafayette or Tippecanoe County, you should care. This development matters to all of us, the bad and the good. So there's going to be 2 more community meetings with SK Hynix. There was one last week, the week before last, about 10 days ago, I believe it was. It was a Friday. It was the same day as Bob Dylan. The next one is this Thursday, so 3 days from now, Thursday, April 24th, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the West Lafayette Wellness Center, and that's 1101 Calbearer Road. Unfortunately, I'll be at Cub Scouts with my boys, so I won't be able to make it to that one, although I desperately want to. But then Saturday, May 3rd, so not this coming Saturday, but 2 Saturdays from now, there will be another meeting from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., location still to be determined. And I don't want to make any guesses here, but they have talked quite a lot about possibly using Marjoram City Hall as a location, just to have some geographic diversity where these meetings are taking place. So if you care, and again, you should, this Thursday, April 24th, 6:30 to 8:30, go talk to SK Hynix, hear what they have to say, make your opinion known. It's a conversation. It's not an announcement. And I would love to know, like I said, I won't be able to be there. I would love to know your feedback. So if you go to the meeting on Friday, come back here and drop a comment about what you saw, what you thought, what maybe you said, and what was said back. And I'm sure that Dave and his fantastic reporting will also tell us a great deal about that. So that's more of the story that just won't die. That is SK Hynix update for this week. Much, much more to come, because after these petitions, there is a West Lafayette City Council meeting on... I thought I had noted this date down. I did not. Give me just half a second. The City Council vote is scheduled for May 5th. That is a... Look at my calendar here. That is a Monday. May 5th at 6:30 p.m. at Marjoram City Hall. That's at 222 North Chauncey in West Lafayette. And I know it's going to be a packed meeting, but again, you should go. Let your elected officials know what you think about this. Theoretically, we're live on the air during that meeting, so I don't know if... not exactly sure what we'll do on that day, because that's a big deal. Maybe I'll have the window open in one window, and maybe we'll reschedule for that week. I'm not sure yet, because I do very much want to go to that meeting, but I also know it'll be standing room only, so we'll see how that goes. All right. That's it for SK Hynix this week. Let's move on, but before you do, hit the like and subscribe button. It really matters that YouTube sees all of you great people who come and watch us every week subscribing. It helps our metrics. It helps YouTube push out our content, our videos at Lafayette Live to other people like you who would get a lot of value from it. So thank you for doing that right now. Last week, we touched on backyard chickens. Yep, that's right. I said chickens in Lafayette. And there was a community interest meeting in Lafayette last week with Eileen Hessian-Weiss, who's a Lafayette City Council member, about proposed changes to the city codes to allow chickens in town with some restrictions, with some restrictions on, how many and what the housing has to be like and that sort of thing, to make sure that we're protecting the property values and, the livability of the people around these chickens, sort of things. So, but what was interesting about this meeting is no one showed up to speak against the idea during the meeting at Lafayette City Hall. So they have a couple of more meetings, at least one more meeting on the schedule. Trying to see when that is. May 8th, 5 p.m. at Lafayette City Hall at 20 North 6th Street. And then following that, the earliest that the ordinance could go onto the Lafayette City Council agenda for an actual vote would be June 2nd. And then that would take 2 votes by the City Council to pass. So I believe it would be July before it could actually pass. So if you're in Lafayette and interested in chickens, for or against, go to this next meeting on May 8th and let your voice be heard. Very civic community focused this week. A lot of go to meetings, let your voice be heard, indeed. Next up, after you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a minute of our programming here on Lafayette Live and the Lafayette Reel, the legislative session down in Indianapolis is getting close to an end. And one of the biggest and perhaps, dare I say, most controversial bills to come out of the legislative process this year is SB 1, Senate Bill 1, which is a bill that is supposed to help revise property tax law to put more money in the pockets of property owners like you and me. A lot of controversy over, does it actually do that? Does it do that to a scale that actually matters? Does it do that to a scale that matters without affecting local government units that rely on that money, like schools? And I will say, I want my schools to have money. Full stop. I won't debate you on that. If that turns you off from the show, then I'm sorry. I've lost you as a viewer. But I think that schools need money to survive. And I want our kids, my kids, your grandkids, your neighbors' kids, the kids that are going to be working to pay into Social Security when we're retired. I would like them to have the world's best education, and I want to pay for that with my property taxes. So as a result, though, it is bringing down revenues for local government units. And the Tippecanoe County Commissioners announced that they have told department heads they will not approve any new positions for the rest of the 2026 fiscal year. So I don't know of a more responsible, fiscally conservative group of county commissioners than the Tippecanoe County Commissioners, who are effective with our taxpayers' money, my taxpayer money, and do a good job of taking care of our local community. I don't know a better group. I think that they are good people trying to do the best that they can with the resources that they have, and they have come out and said, hey, department heads, we're not hiring anybody because nobody really fully understands the impact that SB 1 is going to have. But wherever you fall on that debate, just understand that right now, our local government, our local county government is not going to be able to hire anybody new for the next fiscal year. Now, they haven't said that it's a blanket no hiring freeze, but that could be coming. But for the moment, they're not going to hire new positions. I don't think that's a good thing. Government exists to provide services to the community, and government is its most effective at the local level, at the town, city, township, and county level. And now we're hobbling the ability for our local government to serve us. I don't think that's a good thing. Do you think that's a good thing? I would legitimately like to know. So if you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, either way, drop a comment in the chat, or if you're watching this later, drop a comment down in the comments. Moving along, what else have we got this week? A couple of zoning things coming up in the coming weeks to talk about. The Area Plan Commission Ordinance Committee is meeting on May 7th, so that's about 2 weeks from now. And on their agenda, as I was paging through it, yes, I'm that kind of guy, they are considering a new zoning district, R1C, and this comes as a request from the Lafayette Builders Group, and it's a new zoning district with smaller lot widths than the existing R1B, and so this is so that you can get more things like smaller homes or townhomes on existing lots, if you're doing infill and that sort of thing. So, our builders are looking for ways to continue to maximize the housing potential of our area, as the number of lots in town is, I won't go so far as to say that it's approaching zero, but it is not a lot. But even out in the county where development is, and development is roughly down at like 500 south and 500 north, so 5 miles north and south of 26, all these new housing districts that are housing additions, neighborhoods that are popping up are now being a mix of development with some R1 zoning of just regular residential, but then there's also some smaller lot line homes, some row homes, some townhouses and that sort of thing, and they're looking to maximize. Of course, these companies are looking to maximize profit. Let's be honest about it. Businesses exist to make profit for the owners. That's why we own and run businesses, but they also are looking at how they can maximize housing for our community. So that's coming up. I have no doubt that will pass. Our Area Plan Commission and all the representatives are very much pro-housing, so look for that. I'll have some updates on that later in May. Also, in zoning news, this one's kind of been floating around. I haven't said anything about it on the show, I don't believe yet, but I don't know if you remember the Eyesore Hotel that was out here in Battleground at the exit 178 off of I-65. That was finally torn down a few years ago. It was an eyesore, an old Holiday Inn. But a developer has had some stuff floating around for area plan to give their approval to, as far as that site and what it's going to be in the future, and requesting some variances relating to height of a new hotel and signs and parking and all of this. And it was on the agenda for the day after tomorrow, for Wednesday, but it's been continued by request of the petitioner to at least May 28th. So I haven't spoken to anybody about this yet. So I'm guessing that they're just, getting ducks in a row, getting all the business taken care of as it will, and this will come back up. But it's also possible that this is getting pushed because of the unknowns of tariffs and all that kind of fun stuff, and how that's going to affect construction and materials costs. But there was some development finally coming to that site that was, finally cleaned up. Hopefully it's still coming, but it's been pushed another month. As far as zoning appeals, I will do some legwork on this to see if I can find out more, but that is other development news coming up here in the area. And we're going to end the news segment today with a bit of upbeat news. I think that we've been a very the sky is fallen, Chicken Little sort of thing. The Beach Boys are coming to Lafayette. So the last few years, Lafayette, in conjunction with the Long Center and here in town, have been doing a great job building a new concert series out at Loeb Stadium, where they actually put a stage out on the baseball field and put out some seating out there and everything, and have had a 2, 3, 4 concerts every summer. And they've just announced that on Thursday, September 18th, the Beach Boys are going to play Loeb Stadium as part of their Sounds of Summer tour. It's going to be led by one of the co-founders, Mike Love, at 7:30. Gates open at 6:30. Tickets went on sale 3 days ago at the Long Performing Arts Center, which you can check out online at LongPAC. That's longpac.org. Starting at $39, which, if you know anything about tickets prices, that's a pretty good deal these days. So if you want to go out and have a good end of the summer celebration on Thursday, September 18th, go see the Beach Boys at Loeb Stadium here in Lafayette. There are a few other concerts coming this summer, but I thought that one was cool and worth mentioning, and a great way to end our news segment on a high note this week. Before we move on to our home tours for the week, do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button. Just go ahead and hit them right now. It means a lot to me that you do that. But next up, we're going to tour some great older homes in Lafayette. I always kind of look for a theme to kind of hang these tours together. And this one is older homes in Lafayette. A couple of them are renovated. One of them is in good shape, but has the bones to be a really great home. So first off, we're going to start with 610 South 9th Street, and we're looking right here, and we'll zoom out a little bit. This is the Highland Park neighborhood. You can tell by the little teardrop shaped cul-de-sac. It's not a cul-de-sac, but drive there. I'll zoom out to show you where we are. Here's South Street 26 cutting through town. Purdue University, West Lafayette over here in the top corner. We were just talking about Loeb Stadium. It's right over here. It's a great central Lafayette location. But that's what we're talking about first. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,896 square feet on 0.42 acres. So not quite half an acre, but a pretty sizable lot for in the city. .610 South 9th Street. Again, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,896 square feet on almost half an acre, 0.42. So it's got both a portico and a garage back here, and I love the deep blue. You've got the colonnaded front porch here, both front and side porch. You've got the upper porches with kind of the gazebo set up top. This is up at the top of the 9th Street Hill. Look at the original feeling interior in here that's been well loved and well taken care of. You have the original molding trim around the doors. This large entryway with the wood staircase, and we'll see this a little more up close in a minute, but the stained glass on the landing going up the window. And in this particular case, they've done a great job of matching the decor to the house. Moving along, the wood banister, great detail there. Got a fireplace, which I am guessing is probably not usable anymore. New window treatments. I mean, really well taken care of home here. Still down on the main floor. You've got the lovely French doors from the entryway into this room, almost set up as a music room here. There's a piano here in the corner. Almost the layout with that main entryway almost feels like the mansion from Clue. Anybody remember that movie with Tim Curry? Love that movie. Move into the den / living room, from which you can see the dining room off of it. Carpet in here with the music room across the entryway. We had the glass paneled French doors here, and we have the paneled French doors on this side. Looks like the windows are newer. Do I have any notes on how old the windows are? No quick notes on the windows. And like it or love it, the wallpaper evokes, the period when this home was built, which was, hang on, $1880. So this is 145 years old. So it's certainly not original wallpaper by any means, but definitely evokes that feeling of a 145-year-old. Dining room, formal dining room. I believe that this is the butler's pantry off of the dining room and not the kitchen. Yep, indeed, the kitchen is part of the dining area. Well, there's the eat-in kitchen. That we saw the formal dining room with the pink, and then we have the butler's pantry, and then the eat-in kitchen with both breakfast bar at the island, as well as a table area to sit. Nicely done. Fits into the character of the house. Not so modern that it doesn't feel part of the house. Not so old that it feels old. Lots of storage there in the island. And we start moving to the bedrooms. Again, wood floors. Ceiling looks like it's in pretty good shape. I'm sure we'll see this in more. I know we'll see this in more detail. The pink bathroom over there. Again, it's just paint. Just paint. You can change that. Nice glass sliding door shower tub combo with the dual base sinks and a vanity over here for makeup. Modern laundry area. Lots of room to work in there. Moving in through another bathroom, another bedroom. The lilac bedroom this time. I really love this stairwell. The first time that I looked through this house, I just really loved. You come up the main from the main floor down here, and you arrive on the landing with the beautiful stained glass. And then you come up, and the bedrooms that we just looked at were all back here around behind where the camera is standing right now. And then continue up the stairs on up to the 3rd floor. It's got that grand and majestic feel that you just don't get in modern homes. Again, a bedroom, this one with another of the probably non-working fireplaces, but gives you the charm. Another renovated bathroom. Again, this is 3 baths, so we've seen the primary and one of the secondaries. Looking down the stairs from above to that beautiful, beautiful stained glass. And we head outside to the porches. And again, I love the siding color that they've chosen here. Lots of area to swing, to sit on your rockers. I mean, if you're looking for a traditional style home, built in 1880, that has been well loved and well taken care of, well renovated, I don't think you can do any better than this. You got the coach house back there as the garage. The deck. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And like I said, it is 0.42 acres. So that is 610 South 9th Street here in Lafayette. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,896 square feet on 0.42 acres, and it is currently listed for $658,000. That's a very fair price for 3,896 square feet that has been this lovingly renovated and taken care of. And if you would love home here in the Lafayette area, if you would love to see this home or any other home, send me a message right now. Go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube. Get myself out of the way. And let me know so I can help you find home here in the Greater Lafayette area. And maybe home is 610 South 9th Street. That was beautiful. Anybody buying that one today? All right, moving on to our next lovely home here in Lafayette. Let me get myself prepped for the next one. Takes me just half a second here. Next up, we're going to go to 1005 South 4th Street, and this one was built in 1940, so it's about 85 years old. Let's look at it on the map first, just place it in context of where it is that we're talking about. So here we are right in the middle of Lafayette, if you will, here. Here is Old 231 South 5th Street. Here is Kossuth. Again, we can see Highland Park right here, right in the middle of Lafayette. I mean, it's like a 8-minute drive to Purdue University, not even that long. Downtown Lafayette. It's so centrally located. One of the original parts of Lafayette. Bring up the pictures and we'll go on a little tour. This is 1005 South 4th Street in Lafayette. It is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,834 square feet. And the lot is, I actually only have it in square feet, and I can't do the conversion that quickly. 6,318 square feet. I think that's like a quarter acre. I'll have to check on that. But this one is, I would say, well taken care of, if not wholly renovated, and has got great bones to if you want to live in an older home and want to make it your own. But you can see the brickwork out front, and the porch needs a little bit of work, a little bit of paint, perhaps some tuck pointing, possibly. Definitely some work on the steps there on the porch. But then we go inside. And I think this picture right here says exactly what I'm talking about. This is a great home that has the bones of, a traditional home, that if you want to make it your own. All of the original woodwork is here. There's a lot of white paint on the walls, and at least some of the floors have been upgraded. I think the outside needs a little bit of work, and then the inside needs a little bit of work to personalize it. But the original woodwork, you got the pocket doors here, you got the bench with the mirrors built in. Bathroom's been updated. I wouldn't say it's absolutely modern and up to date, but it is not, original to the home. The upstairs bedrooms have very much been neutralized with the current color palette of gray and, off-white. So again, the palette is there to make it your own. It's certainly livable as a home right now. It's just a great, again, a home with bones to make it your own. It's got electric baseboard heat. I'm not a giant fan of that, so perhaps the air handling system could use a little bit of upgrade. That's often one of the hardest things to think about and deal with in an older home like this, but it's definitely possible. Again, that porch definitely needs a little bit of love and work. You can see this is not a modern mansion that has been upgraded, to top of the line, brand new construction specs. This is something that has been modernized, but more on the flipping end as opposed to the, making it a home end. But again, that original woodwork with a mix of modern fixtures in the kitchen means that it is livable right now while you can spend some time loving it and making it your own. Continuing on through the kitchen, we head into the living room. Again, an updated fan and some paint on the wall. Definitely, give it, a feel that it is not falling apart and dilapidated. And I'm not saying it is at all. This is one of the parts that you're going to see on older homes. Is a lot of times off the back, you have what are essentially lean-tos that were put on, and this one's had some lipstick put on it. The drop ceiling's been upgraded and everything. But the doors are original, and you get the good and the bad with that. It's original wood doors. They're beautiful and heavy, but it's got all the wear that has not been taken care of over the years and needs a little bit of updating. But look at all the curlicue work up here in this wood paneling here. I mean, nobody does that. Nobody does that. Not even close. Continuing through the living areas downstairs. Then we move into the basement, and it's a basement. It's a basement in an older home. By far not the scariest one I've seen. A little bit of sign of some moisture down here on the ground. Again, it's a basement. I'm not going to dismiss it, but, it's a basement. It happens. It's by far not the worst that I've seen. It's not the best that I've seen by any means, but, some love and care could make it a little more, not a livable space. I don't think this sort of basement is ever going to be the kind of basement that you live in, but perhaps it's your laundry room. Then we come outside, and we see they've done a workman's job to make this, livable. They've got some updated, they've replaced some boards here on this part of the porch, but the upper part of the porch still needs a lot of work. So again, this one is like a great palette to make it your own. They've got the start, but you need to get in there and finish it. So this is 1005 South 4th Street in Lafayette. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,834 square feet. Currently listed for $265. It's probably, I feel like it might be a little high, but they have put some renovation into it. It needs some more renovation. If somebody were just looking for a home and, is it move-in ready? Yes. Is it perfect? No. So if you're looking at it as an investment opportunity, the numbers may not be there. If you're looking at it as, a home and then you're going to live in it and put in the work as you go, the number is probably worth it. So if you would like to go see that home, go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube and send me a message. And let's go see this house or any other house here in the Greater Lafayette area, or really anywhere in Indiana. And while I bring up the next one, go hit the like and subscribe button. Let YouTube know how much you enjoy our home tours every week here on At Lafayette Live. Our next home, get ready for this one. All right, here we go. Next up, we're going to go 743 Owen Street in Lafayette. And this one was built in 1896, so 129 years old. Again, a great central Lafayette location. Let's take a look at it on the map. So here we are right here at 743 Owen Street. You can see the Lafayette Country Club clear as day right here. Here's Highland Park again. All of these homes kind of right around the edge of Highland Park. Here's South Street, Columbia 26 through the middle of Lafayette, Purdue University. So this is like an 8-minute drive to Purdue University. You can't get more central to this. There's grocery shopping right over here on Beck Lane. The mall and everything is over here. It's the middle of Lafayette. I mean, it's the middle of Lafayette. All right, let's go take a tour. We're going to take a tour of 743 Owen Street here in Lafayette. This one is 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,509 square feet on 0.26 acres. So this is a 1/4 acre lot. And this is one that's had some work done to it. You can see the beautiful semi-wraparound porch, all of that stonework there, original to the home. You got a 2-car garage coach house. Well, it's not a coach house, it's a garage. The stone walkway leading up to the porch, the stone patio out front with the grill, with the outdoor grill set up. There's a great aerial shot, beautiful established trees, because again, this is a 120-some-year-old home. And then we'll move up to the porch itself. Lovely place to sit in the fall and spring, maybe not quite in the humidity of the dregs of summer, but here we go, moving inside. Look at this beautifully renovated kitchen. I mean, very modern as far as fit and finish, but still feels like it is part of the character of the house. The large industrial style gas stove there, the large island with the eat-in area here with the, you can tell that by the chandelier hanging down. It's the sort of thing I hit my head on when there's no table underneath it when I'm out showing houses. Happens all the time. Got the pass-through here. I mean, it's all part of one room, so I guess, I don't know if you really call that a pass-through. Out to the entry area with the upgraded floors. Not sure that this is original woodwork around the windows. It might be, it might not be. This out here in the living area is original woodwork. You can tell that at a glance. You can see the radiators here, stairs going up. And then your study area, lots of room on the shelves for your entire library of books with the bay window and more radiators over here. Lots of radiators in this home. And don't be scared of radiators. I absolutely love them. I love, look at the power in the floor here. Oh, I'm in my own way here. Look at the power in the floor here. So what they probably did is they probably poked up from the basement and added that in, recently. So they didn't go up through the wall, they just came up through the floor. So you're going to put your end tables right there. Look at all that original wood, the pocket doors right there. This is great. It has that original character, but it has been updated. You have the clawfoot tub. I'm not a giant fan of clawfoot tubs myself, but a lot of people are. And that is a nice looking one. I think we'll call this the Barbie room. It's kind of got the pinkish peach, but is that mauve or is that pink or purple? You got the green room, the off yellow room, the sunroom, and the stairwell. I love these old grand stairwells. We don't do this anymore. This woodwork, this grand space, the Harry Potter door here under the stairs. Master primary bath, the pink bath. I gotta back up one. Look at that. They've taken some of the original woodwork and fashioned a mirror out of it. I don't think that's an original mirror. I think they've taken some molding and made a mirror. If it is original, forgive me. I could be wrong on that. Sean, are you watching? If you're watching, let me know what you think about that. We head up to the attic. It looks like the attic was last updated in the 70s. But that's okay. that's a pallet that you can make your own. You can pull this paneling off the walls, pull the carpet up, pull down the ceiling tiles, and make it your own modern space. You do have some utility flowing through this room because that's what you have to do in an older home. You know, they didn't have ductwork and conduit and that sort of thing running through homes. So, you know, as you modernize a home, it's a trade-off figuring out where all that stuff is going to go. Heading down to the basement, this is one of the better looking basements I've seen in an older home. I mean, clearly you see the ceiling and wiring up here, and it wasn't all installed in nice straight lines. I like nice straight lines. That's but not everybody, you know, does it that way. Sometimes, you know, people are just in a hurry and just get it done for whatever reason. But it looks pretty dry, pretty bright down there, well taken care of, not dark and dank. Looks like they've got this set up as a workshop over here next to the furnace. Looks like a fairly modern, up-to-date furnace. Oh, and I got to back up just one. And look at the ductwork. The ductwork is even cooling and heating the basement spaces down here. So that's great. And heading outside. So that is 743 Owen Street here in Lafayette. It is 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,509 square feet on 0.26 acres, currently listed for $499,000. And if you'd like to see that, go to thelafayettereal.com/YouTube and send me a message. Let's go check this one out together, or help you find home here anywhere in the Greater Lafayette area or anywhere here in Indiana. Thank you so much for joining us this week on At Lafayette Live. It means the world to me that you join us every week. And I would also like to remind you to hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. It really helps YouTube bring new viewers to the channel so that they can stay up to date with all the things going on here in the Greater Lafayette area. Hope you have a great week, and we will see you again next Monday at 7 o'clock for At Lafayette Live. See you guys.